What's going on, everyone? Trust the Buzz here. If you're new to the channel, I make daily Charlotte Hornets content, so if that interests you, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. If you cannot tell by the thumbnail title of this video, in today's video, we're going to get straight into it. The Hornets just got blown out by the Pacers. I actually do not even know what the score is right now. Last I checked, they were down like 27. The game's still going on, but there's not much to talk about, even if they come back. It's not much to talk about. It was terrible. If LaMelo's not on the court, the team can't score, and that's one of the biggest things that is frustrating about this, is because you had such a prolific offense last year, and then the offense looks dead this year. I mean, Mason Plumlee can't even keep up, like, as far as just running up and down with the team. Can't on offense or defense. He can't get back on offense. He can't get set on defense. It's just all bad. Terry Rozier can't run the offense when LaMelo's out. It looks terrible. James Bouknight can't. It looks terrible, which I expect, but still, it's just he can't. He really still seems like he's really in his head and he needs to get out of it, but he just seems like very cautious and just very scared, to be honest with you. Bryce McGowan's look good. Kelly Oubre looked better. He had some issues on defense, just on some small, he was just sometimes overly aggressive. His defensive IQ still lacks a little bit, but there was one play where he blew up the play like 3 times. So Kelly Oubre definitely. Terry Rozier had some effort on defense, but we still don't have a paint presence on defense or on offense, really. Mason Plumlee can't hold onto the ball. Nick Richards is soft on both ends, on offense and defense. PJ looked okay. PJ was just there. He just had some lackluster moments, just like help defense and things like that. There's just really no need for me to really go into all of it. I really should have wrote it down, but after a while, I just stopped taking notes because of the fact that it is just so bad. I know what's wrong with the team. And the most frustrating part about this is that I guarantee you they're looking at this and like, just a little more time practicing and we'll be better. And that's not the case. This team is just not going to be good enough. And I would hate to come on here and say that every night. But no matter what happens in the game, even games they win, it's just, at the end of the day, it's in the back of your mind, okay, they win a couple of games. What does that do? You know what I mean? With this current roster, they win a couple of games so before I stopped watching, Kai Jones and Mark Williams didn't play a single minute, which is ridiculous. But if you win a couple games and Mark Jones is your starting center, or Mark Williams, I done mixed up their name. If Mark Williams is your starting center, I'm perfectly okay with that. It's like, oh, well, we shouldn't have won that game. However, you're going out there with Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Mason Plumlee, Kelly Oubre, and trying to win games, and we win games. What's the point? There is no point. So I could talk about all the X's and O's, but really it comes down to there's just no point of continuing to go forward with this roster. It makes no sense. To be honest, none of the young guys look good. JT Thor looks terrible. He looked better last year than he does this year. None of the young guys are going to warrant any type of trade value. So you can get guys like Miles Turner. So you can get guys, Jakob Poeltl, even you don't have any trade assets because the young guys aren't playing, and when they do play, they look terrible because they're not being played enough. Like Mark Williams and Kai Jones are never going to get better if you don't. These are the times to play them. Don't understand. G League helps. I'm not going to lie to you and say G League doesn't help. But what really helps when you spend a first round pick on somebody is playing real NBA minutes, and that's even if you got to force it. But they won't. Steve Clifford won't play them for whatever reason. They got to earn it, or they're not comfortable. I don't know. But you really just got to put them out there. I guarantee you, because some of people are saying they're trying to protect Kai Jones or trying to protect Mark Williams, and that's why they won't play, as far as protect them as in they're not ready. But I guarantee you, Hornets fans, if we suck because Mark Williams is in there getting reps, Kai Jones is in there getting reps, James Bouknight again, the Hornets fans we're not going to be mad. At least I can speak for myself and a couple of people I know. We're not going to be upset because of the fact that I would rather lose with putting our best foot forward, putting the young guys, putting the potential future of the team out on the court, instead of losing with guys who literally aren't going to be here in 2 years. It just doesn't make any sense at all to just keep trying to force this team to be something they're not. To be real with you, when they start rebuilding, Steve Clifford's probably not going to be here. I'm not saying you should fire him already, but I feel like everybody's just wasting their time. This season, if they do not tank, I don't care what the end result is, unless they go for a big player, like a guy that can really help this team. If they don't do that, if they do another Montrezl Harrell team, this is a lost season. This is another year wasted of LaMelo. This is a year wasted of PJ. I know, because I feel like PJ, he'll turn it around. Like, he's not supposed to be some 20-point scorer. He's just supposed to be a guy who can really defend all positions and just be a valuable player, which, I mean, he's showing glimpses, so I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about LaMelo. I'm really worried about everybody else, because Terry Rozier, you're just I don't know. You're not supposed to be struggling like this. Gordon Hayward, you can't even get on the court, which I know they're, holding you back, but still, it's just... Kelly Oubre, I mean, it's Kelly Oubre. There's nothing like, there's not going to be more to his game. This team's not good enough to where Kelly Oubre can be at his best value. You know what I mean? Kelly Oubre can average 30 points, but it won't mean anything for this team because this team's not good enough. So if they don't tank or trade for someone big that can really help this team, or a couple guys, like a couple win now guys, like real win now guys, it's a wasted season. Last year, in hindsight, ended up being a wasted season, but that's not their fault. Because you didn't know Miles wasn't going to be able to come back. You didn't, and I'm pretty sure that derailed the whole entire offseason. But that ended up being a wasted season. You got this season. This season, if you, like I said, if you don't tank or if you don't trade for anyone special, it's going to be another wasted season, and you're going to have nothing to show for it. If you tank, yeah, it's a wasted season technically, but you got Victor Wembanyama out of it, Scoot Henderson, Amin Thompson, Dariq Whitehead, Anthony Black. Like, you got some guys, some from the draft class that could help the team in the future. But the way we're going is just, I don't know. And I hate to keep talking about front office stuff, but it's just not going to help to talk about the game, because the game is so affected by the front office currently. For example, you could talk about X and O's with the Warriors because the front office is intact. The front office knows what they're doing. They're doing a wonderful job of like a rebuild, but not a rebuild, but they're preparing for the future and winning now. So you don't have to even think about that. But with the Charlotte Hornets, it trickles down to the product we see on the floor. These guys are having to learn a whole new offense when, like I said, they're literally probably not going to be here. There's no point of them being here. Literally wasting everybody's time, to be completely honest with you. And it's frustrating because, like I said, it comes down from the front office. Front office has no idea what direction they want to pull this team. That affects how Steve Clifford can coach. That affects what Steve Clifford is telling LaMelo, telling Terry Rozier. That affects how these guys play on the court. And then at the end of the day, what you end up getting when everybody else is dysfunctional, you end up playing for yourself. Because why? Why am I playing for Steve Clifford if I know he's not going to be here? Why am I playing for the front office when I know they don't care to try to make us even better? Why? So if these guys are going to start just throwing up shots and playing for themselves, and then that just messes everything up. Being in the middle is the worst thing you can do in the NBA, worst thing you can do in sports, really. And it's crazy. But anyway, that does it for this video. I know I didn't really talk about the game that much. I'll probably do a more breakdown video of the actual game and the X's and O's, but I just had to get this off my chest because that's literally what I was seeing on the floor was just nothing good. And I'm just tired of seeing it. I know it's preseason, but they play like this in a regular season. That's why it's so scary that they're playing this in a preseason, if that makes any sense. Pacers are on paper worse than us, but they played their heart out. They played very physical. They played fast. They played aggressive. We kind of played very lackadaisical. Nobody knew what they wanted to do. Nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew where to go. Nobody knew anything. And I know it's new system, but geez, like at the end of the day, it's basketball, So just use your skill set when you don't know what to do, or at least try. It wasn't much effort out there until certain points, and it was just frustrating. Anyway, that does it for this video. Let me know what you think of the team down in the comment section below, and thank you guys so much for just all the support, and I really appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.